Welcome. I'd like to read to you excerpts from my latest poetry. The Science of Waiting. Within the long, meandering queue for services provided by the state, reluctantly, we wait. Life put aside like an old dilapidated pair of shoes, ennui elevated to a high art, silence secured within the din of worried and desperate thoughts. There is a science to waiting that has eluded me for these many years. The next one I would like to read is entitled The Economic Ladder. There are but a few rungs remaining on the economic ladder. The bottom one burdened by the monumental weight of ordinary citizens. Above, there are but a few others, battered and in ill repair, unable to bear the weight of those who are desperate to assault the higher reaches. The next I entitled Summer Commentaries, which is just a series of vignettes. The incessant rhythm of the ocean is reminiscent of the beginnings of life and the relentless beauty of the human heart. The seemingly limitless ocean, vast and mysterious, is a wondrous organism whose vitality is a measure of the planet's well-being. As I watch a pair of twin white butterflies cavort among the daisies, and a hummingbird defy gravity with lusty and diaphanous wings, I realize that summer has taken hold of me. I am prepared for such sweet surrender. Gliding through shallow inlets on Lake Washington near the Arboretum in our steadfast canoe, we chance upon a great blue heron in all his majestic stature and magnificent indifference to our uninvited appearance. An eagle and osprey circling majestically overhead, lifted by the exuberant summer air. Soothed by such delights, we imbibe the present like the inhabitants we were meant to be. Madrona. Gnarled, aching branches sheds its orange filamentous coat like a desert snake, revealing its hardwood resilience. The fading arch of summer. Tomatoes redden under the waning summer sun. Subtle touches of color paint the September landscape. The coolness of the evening air invades my extremities. Insects begin their retreat from wind and sky. The earth moves along its invariable arc through the unforgiving void. Harvests are made ready. The shade of precipitous night advances into the retreating embrace of daylight. Young boys, under the guiding hands of vigilant fathers, chop and stack wood in preparation for winter's hairy rage. It is a time for fall to begin its dance and restrain summer's wild exuberance. Serenade. Moon at my windows filled with the season of desire, moon pushing against the glass, stretching the night into a sea of restless emotion. Moon at my window admonishes me for not having you with me in my bed, complains of your absence. It is 2 hours before the dawn will crack the sky. Moon has turned my mind into a raging tempest, with thoughts of your sweet body and enfolding grace. Moon had revoked my equanimity and promised to hold sleep hostage until I have you in my arms again. Moonwalkers. Walking under the moon's influence within a golden autumnal forest, the night appears subdued, yet luminous. Caressed by the soft and enticing light, entranced by our own moon shadows, we are awestruck by the world's indefatigable magic. Cycles. Cycles of sun and moon, tides and solar wind, cycles of birth and death, the rise and fall of empires, fiery demise of stars, cycles of joy and catastrophe, hope and despair, love and grief, day and night, darkness and light, wrapped around the great wheel of change that turns upon itself to lead us back from where we end. This longing runs deeply. Enmeshed in my sinews, wedded to my bones, longing runs deeply. It clouds my vision, usurps my sleep with implacable dreams. Nameless shadows cast by turbulent darkness, passion's bony insistence leaves me wanting to ignore the sorrow with idle and empty indulgence. The delicacy of light. Dispatched from our generous star, light gives texture to the most ordinary and the most sublime. It bears no prejudice, it reserves no judgment. Light gives meaning to the darkness by dispelling it. Light brings life to all without respite. A gift freely given, sweet song of the ages. Light exposes the majesty and delicacy of the planet. Dispatched from our generous star, light is the keeper of all we possess. And finally, I would like to read a poem simply entitled War. Strident pronouncements from the pulpit of state proclaiming superiority, demanding loyalty, stirring the shimmering cauldron of fear, a tsunami of emotions assaulting the senses. War grinds on, poking desperate holes in the fabric of reason. Humans stand astride the abyss of the damned and plunge without reluctance into the chaos of their own making. War shreds humanity under the staggering weight of bountiful corpses left bloodless, discharged from the living in a torrent of metal and fire. Cycles of endless violence and retribution falling upon the sharpened spikes of hatred, ignorance, fear. War glorifies pitiful death upon the altar of the unrelenting darkness. I mourn for all the pointless dead, for the gravestones piled high upon the beleaguered hearts of all the mothers who have wept over the ashes of their vanquished children. Well, thank you for listening, and I hope to return again with more editions. Take care.